but that'd be embarrassing.
In 1944, an Austrian paediatrician called Hans Asperger discovered that 4 children in his practice had trouble interacting socially. They also lacked non-verbal communication skills, failed to demonstrate empathy with their peers, and were physically clumsy. But Asperger also called his young patients little professors and believed they were capable of exceptional achievement and original thought later in life. His diagnosis was a form of autism, which later was named after him. They called it Asperger's syndrome.
Asperger's is where you have difficulty socialising, making friends, making conversation. You don't act your age.
Difficult to learn things.
I have trouble with words, understanding words.
Difficulty in understanding like life in general, really.
It doesn't really affect me one way or the other.
I never really noticed until the doctor told me, so nothing really changed.
It did affect me when I used to get into fights quite a bit because of it.
Some people see me crazy, but they've always seen me as crazy, so
I think they just see me as a normal person.
I think it's just a disability.
I think it's just a different view on life.
To me, having Asperger's syndrome isn't normal, because I don't feel like a normal person.
I'm just happy being who I am.
People with Asperger's syndrome are just generally no different from anybody else. They might find it hard to talk to other people and might find it hard to communicate, but in general, I don't think there's any huge thing there's nothing there which makes people with Asperger's syndrome any different from anybody else. The basic thing is, if there's someone with Asperger's syndrome, you may just bear in mind that they might find it a little bit difficult to communicate. I'd say just treat them as like any other person you would meet.
Hopefully in the future, in 10 or 20 years' time, they'll have more groups all over the country for people with Asperger's.
People with Asperger's are receiving more support than they're used to, and it's really good, yeah.
How do you feel about having Asperger's?
It doesn't really actually affect me.
How do you think other people see you?
From my side,
Okay. How does it affect your life?
it doesn't really. It used to, but it doesn't anymore.
Made me feel a bit weird, like the way they treated them and that. It's a lot easier than nowadays than it was back then.
Oh God, it would have been horrible.
First impressions when I come here, I thought, oh my God. And like when I got the tour around and speaking to that man, it like sounded like a prison.
When we were sitting in that church thing and that lady Alice was doing all the brushing, then she got into trouble by that. I don't know what his name is. Calling her stupid and that. But quite bad.
That's alright, Alice, that's enough of your snivelling. Now, Alice, you need to get off. You get off now, you get off down to the farm. I won't be surprised if Miss Clackett came to the back of your hand now. You push off.
When we spoke to Alice, it seems like that she really needs to be here, otherwise she wouldn't be able to live, to be honest, because it's like helping her feed her kid and her. Otherwise she wouldn't have been able to feed her or herself.
Right, come on then, this washing won't get done all by itself.
I wouldn't have been able to stay in a place like this because, I don't know, it just seems cruel, to be honest, to me. I thought it was really bad when I was walking around, but it's opened my eyes and thinking it's sort like they done it because they needed to. I just thought they got put in there and that was it. So
It's a lot fairer nowadays than it was back then. I like take things much for granted. Wouldn't have been able to hack it in there.
Where did you get these balls?
You two look brilliant, don't you?
How did I end up here? Wish I had a normal life. I miss my family because I've been separated from them.
my name's Anna Graves. I miss my children and my family. The hard work that I do day to day is just not taking my mind off it. I wish I had a little bit of money just to get out of here so I can spend time with my family. An hour a week isn't enough because they're growing up too fast.
My name's Bessie Chandler and I've been accused of stealing food. I've only stolen food because I'm hungry. They don't feed us enough in here. Oh, it's just so boring, it's gross, disgusting. No wonder I'm stealing everybody else's.
I'm so tired and I really want to go home, so I'm absolutely knackered. Can't wait till Sunday and then I finally get to see my wife again. I wish I could have kept my family out here so I don't have to work every day and I get to see them whenever I want.
I'm the master of this workhouse, and if they did the job properly, I wouldn't have to punish them, would I?
My name's Anna. I got put in this cell because I just wouldn't go to bed at the right time. I don't like it in here, I really don't. I'm so scared, I just want to get out. It's so small, I can't breathe. I need to get out. I need to get out. Help!
Yeah, sort of thinking, you know, we're actually flipping lucky with what we've got because the council give us money and stuff like that if you need it, and you're sort of always trying to find your homes where then, you know, you'd have to go into a workhouse or you just sort of died on the streets.
Like, we don't have to get sent to, like, if we're poor. We have to work and get up that early till that late and have horrible meals. Thought how different our life was to theirs. Because, like, we live in, like, some of us are poor and some of us are rich, but we still get, like, nice things and that, and they probably didn't get as much stuff as we got.
Just how lucky we are. It's because we got family and we're not sent out to be separated.
Made me think, you know, sort of the way we are today is a lot better off. And I mean, if someone has a kid, most of the time your family support you, so it's quite a lot better.
Like, we can go out, do what we want, spend money whenever we want if we got it and that. And, like, you can see your family when you want. We're taking it for granted.
We've got a washing machine, we've got like a proper washing line, you can just hang the clothes on, and we've got a cooker and a fridge and like freezers and stuff we can cook with, and they've got like nothing. It's like the amount that people have to work and stuff. I've like realised how much my mum has to do at home, and I think I'm going to help her out a bit more.
When I came out, I was 15, if I remember right. It was quite easy when I came out. When I told people at school, apart from the occasional person, it was Quite alright, it was quite positive feedback. Though when I came up to my parents, it was quite dramatic. My mum stopped talking to me for about a week, on and off. But my dad seemed alright with it, to be honest, so. A lot of like straight blokes at school, they seem to think that I fancy them all the time. It's just like a stereotypical thing that's like straight men seem to think about gay men.
I left school because, I came out to one of my friends and she accidentally told everyone, and everyone at my school was like really homophobic and they all bullied me, so I had to leave early. They were only doing it because they don't understand like the concept of it, so really they should have done their research before they jumped into all these conclusions and stuff, and just like believed in stereotypes and stuff. And because I was having all the trouble at school for it, I had to tell my parents at some point, because it was even harder because they didn't know, so I couldn't tell them that I was being bullied or anything like that. I mean, if it was like racist bullying or something, then they would have been expelled straight away. But homophobic bullying, it was completely ignored.
We're the blue people.
He is the green people.
And we are like well
different.
Let's fit in.
Yeah, I like being blue.
I don't care if you're blue, red, green, yellow, orange. You're like well awesome.
No way is you ever seeing that blue person again.
But Daddy!
Let's run away.
It's really nice because you can connect with other people who've been through similar ordeals to you to do with homophobic abuse. Well, with any luck, it will open some people's eyes to the fact that, you know, just because we're gay, lesbian or bisexual doesn't mean we're any different from anyone else. We have the same interests, we have the same lifestyles. Just because we choose to be with a different sexuality partner doesn't mean we're anything different. The same as racism, everyone's human. It's people's actions, not what people are, that defines them.
Around 4,000 years ago, a Bronze Age timber circle was built in what is now called Holme, behind the sand dunes on the North Norfolk coast. After thousands of years of coastal erosion and exposure to the elements, a controversial decision was taken to move what remained of the circle to the safety of a museum. A lot of work went into the preservation and conservation of the timbers, and now this is all that remains. But what was its purpose? We know people came from far and wide to build Seahenge, so it must have been a place of importance. It's commonly assumed that it was a religious monument, perhaps used as a place to host funerals. The stump could have acted as an altar for an important individual prior to burial, or as a gateway to the afterlife. No one really knows what took place at Seahenge. However, there are all kinds of ideas about what it was used for. A nightclub? A games hall?